I walked in the garage, and my dad was just standing there having a fake cigarette. Looking out the side door. And I'm like, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm okay." I'm like, "Looks like something's on your mind. You want to share?" He wasn't like that kind of guy. Brought up, in the 50s, hot rod, stuff like that. You don't show your emotions. I used to tell him I loved him. He loved me back. And like I said before, he didn't know how many times he told his dad he loved him. Or when, or if, or kind of, if, really. And, I cried at the time. Grew up with 3 sisters, very emotional. Anyhow, I'm like, "What's on your mind, Dad?" Looks at me and he's like, goes over to our long workbench that he made. He made everything there. And takes a sip of coffee and he's like, "Something's wrong. Something's wrong. My boat sailed, or my ship never came in." It's probably 55, 60 at the time. Busting ass, got laid off at the plant, painting, working, doing anything he can. One time couldn't find a job, so he found a job picking up concrete blocks that are 80 pounds, and he went downtown Toledo and he did that. Never liked being off work. Drove him nuts. I'm like, "Dad, why would you say that, Dad? Why would you say, we got a good life, got 2 cars, got a nice house, GCC. I think at that time, we might have still had Poconos." I'm like, "We still got Poconos?" He's like, "No, son. It's not what it's about, man. That's not what it's about." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not what it's about? Isn't that what it's about? Isn't it about that?" He's like, "No. It's about having time to breathe. It's about having time to not have to wait a month and a half so we could save up and go to drag race. Or I have to, wait and we have to save up so I can take her mom to Poke, and I have to save up a month and a half or whatever. It's about one word, Kevin." I'm like, "What?" "Freedom." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" "No, money's not the cure of all. And money's not the happiness that, that you get." And that's where I got the saying, "I'd rather cry in a Ferrari than a Ford." When I was a shrink, I was seeing my shrink, Dr. Mears. I'm like, "Man," he was talking about his wealthy clients, right? I'm like, "God, it's got to be awesome to have money worries. It's got to be awesome." He's like, "It's not like that, Kevin." And I was like, "Come on, man. Come on." I go, "Any of my worries are better than money worries." He's like, "Rich people have problems too. Wealthy people have problems too." What my dad was getting at was he was never able to get to a point. I talked about this with him too. He thought he'd get to a point where he got big enough where the jobs would just come to him, and he had different crews working and stuff. And I told you that never worked out because quality's not there when you're not there. Only person that really cares as much as you do with your name on it is you. It's absolutely you. And how companies get big and with help, and like my dad said and my cousins have said in medical practice and offices, and other people have said, the workers will kill you. The workers will kill you. The excuses, they won't show up, the lack of effort, the lack of quality. And when my dad said that, I knew he did not feel how I felt about him. I'm like, "Dad, you had 4 kids go through college. 3 of them went to the state college. 3 of them went to Ohio State. 1 of them went to OU." I go, and usually when you look at statistics, a working class family and this, that, and the other, it's usually a technical school or a 2-year school or something like that. I go, also we all are on the straight and narrow. We're not doing anything bad or anything else. And he appreciated that too. And I go, everybody has pretty good grades. Well, minus me, of course. And I'm like, we're a loving family. Everybody's getting along, and we don't have any health scares or anything like that. I'm like, you're doing pretty damn good. No, I said, you're doing fucking awesome. You're doing fucking awesome. I go, you might not think you have the wealth, but you have the wealth. I never wanted him feeling bad because we weren't at a certain level or status or some bullshit like that. I mean, we go to the drags and we see all these guys, they're all decked out. We knew it was all dope money, meth heads, crack heads, cocaine, whatever. And everything was billet. Everything was this, everything was that, And when he got his Dodge and stuff, he just wanted, to do something nice. He just wanted to run, And I want you to understand, people value different things at different times of their life. At that time of his life, he's looking at his life accomplishments. And he was just looking at financial statements. He was just looking at himself about how many bucks he had in his pocket. But he was priceless. He was so priceless to us. He was so priceless in spirit and heart and humor and life. God, I miss him. I just can't visit his gravestone because that was the day I tried to kill myself so many years ago. I can't relive that. I just want you to know, value people for the people that they are, not what they've accomplished, or they think they have to be, or they think that they should drive or live or wear or whatever. He was an incredible soul. He's a great guy. He was an absolute great guy. And it was like, he passed away so long ago, you should get over it. He's an old guy. He's been gone a while ago. Some people do say that. And I completely understand that. I completely understand, as a 51-year-old man, my dad passed like 14 years ago, whatever, and I should just, fine, whatever. When you find yourself where I am, personally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, everything becomes impacted by 10. Which you would have thought only once if you had someone around or you were involved or whatever. It doesn't happen. That hits you like 10 or hits you like 20 or 30 or 100. And you relive it. You absolutely relive it. And I try to tell him, you're great, you're PhD, you're a hard worker. He's like, that doesn't get fucking anywhere. That doesn't get you fucking. I go, you're a good guy. He's like, that doesn't fucking get you anywhere. And he's like, I really feel like my ship, I missed my ship or whatever, or my ship sailed without me. Man, I should have hugged him right there. I should have hugged him. I just talked to him. He was such a guy that kept all of his emotions in. For him to tell me that was absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I should have hugged him that moment and said, Dad, I love you. Whatever you've done, whatever you do, however you are, whatever, it doesn't come down to how many bucks in your pocket. It doesn't come down to how many bucks in your pocket. It matters how much is in your heart. How you feel about people, how you relate, how you communicate, how you connect with humanity. man, I knew he looked at himself in a different light ever since that. Always the dollars, always the fucking dollars, always the dollars, always the dollars. You can't fucking do that. You people can't do that. You just can't do that. People are more than statuses and numbers and dollars and stupid spreadsheets and shit getting done. We're souls. We're movement. We're electricity. We're living, breathing, dying things. All right, that's all I got. I was just thinking about that when I was outside today. I was just thinking about that conversation. Value people for how they are, not what they can do, not what they've accomplished, not, whatever they drive or the title, none of that bullshit. Value people for who they are. All right, do something good for humanity. I'm gonna let you go.